So now let's bring Dani in.
Let's bring Dani on.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you today,
Dani.
Shannon and Nancy? It's been a
Hi.
while.
How are you, Dani?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much.
Good. Wow. We loved watching the episodes with you of Love on the Spectrum, and we want to talk about that today. And tell us, first of all, what was it like filming it?
So what was it like? It's like making the show coming to life. It's so amazing just to see myself on camera, and I didn't mind the cameras at all because
you were
I just go with the flow.
Camera. You're a natural, Dani.
Yes. Well, you're so stunningly beautiful, and the camera just loves you, and you're such an interesting and talented person. I guess I want to know, Dani, so it finally came out, and I want to know, have you seen the whole thing now by this point?
I did, yes. I did saw all 6 episodes, and this looks so terrific.
So are you happy? What do you think? Do you like the way you came out on it? Are you happy? Because it's always edited. We have to acknowledge that they don't include everything. And sometimes, people are like, oh, I wish they'd included this. But are you happy with how it was edited and how you came out of it?
Definitely it did.
Okay.
It's not scripted, though.
No, not scripted at all. It was just your life and so many other people's lives.
And what has been your most surprising reaction from people when they find out you're on the show?
A lot of actions. I received very positive remarks about how I'm being on the show. It's Dani and something like that. And there's some funny ones too. Like I'm just stuck in an anime English dub thing. That was funny.
Well, but that is one of your interests. And I just said that tomorrow we're going to show the second half of the pieces that you made for us from Stories from the Spectrum, so people can see why you're so into anime and why you're so into animation and why you're an amazing businesswoman. And I don't know how much you're allowed to say, and we don't want to do spoiler alerts here because I think the most people haven't watched the whole thing yet, so I don't want to give anything away yet, but it's all out. You can watch all of it. But Dani, I think the big question in everybody's mind as they start to watch it is, and I'm not going to say which guy because I don't want to give things away, but there's a guy that it seems like you are very interested in and you're very into, and we see you getting ready to go on a second date with him. And then the next time we see you, you put him in the friend zone. But we don't know why. Are you allowed to tell us what happened in between, or are we not allowed to talk about that?
Not we'll talk about it, yes.
Okay.
So for my second date, I'm just looking for, we're just keeping ourselves taking it. Then again, we're just making sure that we take it slow as possible. And for my second date, I'm just getting to know him.
Okay. And then you decided maybe you would be better off being friends.
But then I find out for Solomon, I found out that there is he's not quite compatible.
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough.
You didn't think he had the same goals, life goals as you had, correct?
Yeah. Solomon didn't have the same life goals as I do, but
no one is as motivated as you are, Dani. You are driven. You are somebody that you see very clearly the path, and you're a woman who knows what she wants, which is amazing. But I don't know, as somebody who is one of the older women on the sideline, I just want to warn you that there are very few people in life that are going to be as driven as you are.
I agree. You are super driven. You're driven to the max, and you may not be able to find a man as driven as you. What do you think about that?
You're right. It's just extremely rare to find somebody who is as driven as I am.
But you might find somebody who really does it for you that isn't as driven as you are. It might happen. It might happen.
Now, Dani, one of the things you happen to say on the show is that real business women don't cry. And where did you get that idea from?
Well, that idea I came up with myself. It's due to common sense. Business women don't cry in public, but privately.
Okay.
So
All
they're
right.
allowed to cry because I've been a businesswoman in my life, and believe me, I've cried plenty of times.
Me too.
Yeah,
I cried
everybody.
yesterday.
You cried yesterday, Shannon?
Yes, and I cry publicly. I just cry publicly. My eyes leak all the time. I got to be honest with you, Dani, and maybe that's being unprofessional for me, but I believe that we should have our emotions and that people should see us have our emotions. But you don't. You say no, I got to be a businesswoman and I got to be professional. Is that correct?
That is correct. Stay professional is a good thing. You hold it till you go find somewhere private.
All right. I can't do that. I just leak and cry. But that's
Hmm.
me. Now, you worked with a coach on the show. What was that like for you? Was that helpful?
I thought it was very helpful, Jennifer Cook, even though she is very helpful with lots of dating advices. Unfortunately, that didn't make it to the cut.
Yeah, I noticed that we didn't see that. We saw her working with some of the other people in the show, but we didn't see you end up working with her. But you really think that she helped you?
She did, yes, Jennifer Cook. What she only helped is the only ones that made it is Abby and
Yeah,
Sabo. Did I get his name
yeah.
right?
I think so. I think so. Those were both really cute storylines. Um,
So
but
tell us, Danny, tell us what's
yeah.
next for you in the dating world.
What's next for me? So hopefully once probably I'm looking forward to the next filming if Love on the Spectrum announces a second season. If the second season's announced, that would be really amazing.
So you'd be willing to do it again and go on more dates?
Definitely.
All right. I want to be like a Yenta, Nancy. I want to be on the committee that picks who you go out with. Like I want to pick somebody out for you. I want to be one of the matchmakers. So Dani, let's talk a little bit about, because your popularity is skyrocketing because people are seeing this and seeing what an amazing professional driven woman that you are. They're also seeing that you're beautiful and that you have a lot to bring to a dating situation. If people want to know more about you, where do you tell them to go?
If people want to know more about me, they can find me on www.danimationentertainment.com. You can find me on Facebook under Dani Bowman and Dani Mation, Twitter Dani Mation ENT, Instagram Dani Bowman 1, LinkedIn Dani Bowman, and also Dani Mation. Or you could just Google me.
Yeah, absolutely. And tomorrow we're going to be debuting that part 2 of the series that you did for us from Stories from the Spectrum. The first part, we got to go with you as you went to New York to get an award. Tell us what's in that second part. I talked about it a little bit before, but tell us from your point of view what that part 2 is about.
The part 2 is more about my origin story of how I get to be where I am today with all the accomplishments and the success.
Yeah, I mean, we've been having you on the show for many years. I think the first time you were on the show, you might have been 14.
That's
And
right.
I was
My
just
son,
stunned.
my son had discovered your children's book, Danny and Goliath, and that was one of his favorite books growing up.
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah, he loved it.
And you were already starting to teach at that young age. I like, was that your idea? Was that Joey Travolta's idea? Who had the original idea and said, wait a second, Dani should be teaching this to other kids on the spectrum?
Well, it's all thanks to Joey's encouragement to why don't you teach animation? Joey Travolta is the one who gave me the wings to fly to teach animation to use on the autism spectrum across the country and also in the UK as well later on.
Okay.
If people want to study with you, Danny, how do they go about doing that? How do they go about learning animation with you?
If anybody would like to learn about animation, you can go to the Danimation Entertainment has a one-on-one session where people can buy the packages. We different and to for class, and also we also provide weekly free classes for anybody who is interested.
Oh, great.
Just amazing. So, for people who don't know and have never seen Love on the Spectrum before, let's talk a little bit, because this is a Netflix show that's already a hit, but this is a new version of it that's Love on the Spectrum US, because the first 2 seasons Was it Australia or New Zealand? I'm sorry that I don't know. That's embarrassing.
That's Australia.
Australia. And it was fascinating. Boy, we were all riveted to it in COVID. And then at some point they decided to make a US version of it. And how did you get hooked up with that, Dani? Like, were there auditions? How did you get hooked up?
I got hooked up by email. As far as I could remember, it was a while ago when I was first approached to get filmed to be part of the show. Kian contacted us to see if we knew of anyone who may be interested in taking part of this cool new dating show that was a big hit in Australia and was coming to the US. At that time, no one was familiar with Kian in the show, but I thought it would be a great opportunity to find love because I'm always busy. That's hard for me to find the time. And I've been very trusting, and I've been never been very trusting of dating websites. Ugh, too
What are
many.
we looking at there on this picture that Traven's showing? What is this, Dani?
That is me teaching animation to youth on the autism spectrum. That's supposed to make it to the cut, but unfortunately it didn't.
Okay. We have some other pictures here. There you are again teaching.
Yes,
Absolutely
these
amazing.
are behind the scenes from Love in the Spectrum. And there's
Amazing.
me with Jennifer, another one that didn't make it to the cut.
And that's Kian, right, with you? And
That's right.
Kian's the director, the producer of all of the Love on the Spectrum. He's really because we get to hear sometimes the questions that he asks you guys. I have heard, I think from you and from other people, that he is just a wonderful, kind presence on the set. Is that how you would say it?
Yes, that's what I would say. Alongside with some of his crew members like Emily and Jessica, they're like my wing people.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely amazing. And do we have more pictures, Traven, or is that the? Oh, there you are.
That's another behind the scenes. This time, me having a conversation with Jennifer Cook. Well, that didn't make it to the cut.
But Dani, you're used to being around cameras. Was it at all weird to have them invade your house and not be in charge? Because normally when the cameras are there, you're in charge.
Not at all. I didn't really mind about cameras being around me. The picture on the right, as you see, that's me and Emily.
Well, you were absolutely a natural on camera, I have to say. You didn't appear to be at all nervous or reticent about sharing your feelings. Have you always been so uninhibited, Dani, in terms of having people film you?
Yeah.
And this is a picture of your aunt and uncle who've been
They're like watching me. They're like
they've figured largely into your life. You live with them. What do they think about these first 6 episodes?
they thought they were so amazing, and Sandy was definitely floored, and she was laughing out loud. Speaking of, there she is.
There's Sandy. Come on in, Sandy. I'm so glad that you're there because people want to know what the deal is with why did you think it was a good idea to give her a shot of tequila before going on a date? Sandy.
Oh, I never thought that was going to make the cut.
Of course it made the cut. What were you thinking, Sandy?
Oh my goodness. What was I thinking? I just, okay, so Dani's very, as a matter of fact, and straightforward, as you guys know.
Yeah.
So she hadn't dated in several years, right? And so I wanted her to relax because she could, if she doesn't like somebody, she'll just tell them, exactly how she feels. And I kept telling her, just, be nice, even if you're not, too attracted to them, just relax. And so usually sometimes when we do that, like we're going somewhere where she's going to be nervous, we'll have a little bit of a shot just to, take the edge off. So I did that, and I never thought it was going to make the cut.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's how she got, but actually it was the opposite. She totally was, infatuated by Solomon, from the very, very first look that I guess that they looked at each other.
Yes. And I found myself wondering how much of that was the tequila and how much of it was, he was cute, Dani. He was cute.
Yes, he was cute and definitely so good looking. Adon is cute too, but I was attracted to Adon's humor.
Yeah, he was a little bit heartbroken, wasn't he, Dani?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Solomon,
I think he definitely had it going on for you.
yeah, I think they had going on for each other. They really cared for each other. But the more they got to know each other, because they started dating after the camera stopped rolling,
Right.
and the more they got to know each other, the more they realized that it was really difficult for them to carry on a relationship because they really had nothing in common.
There you
So
go.
her initial thought when they first met, she really liked him, she was attracted to him, but she thought, we have nothing in common. How are we ever going to see each other? He doesn't drive, I don't drive, he lives on opposite sides of town. How are we ever going to see each other? How are we ever going to, what are we going to talk about? And how are we going to, so those were her initial thoughts, right? But
Yeah.
then she was so attracted to him that she said, the heck with it, as most women do, right?
Right. Well, that was the thing that really struck me about that whole first date. And it's in the first episode, you guys. You really got to watch it, because what's amazing to me about it is that usually when people go on a date, there's all the things that get said, but there's all the things that don't get said that are in people's minds. And I can't tell you how many times, Dani, I've had girlfriends call me from a first date and say just exactly what you said out loud. He's so hot, I think I'm in love. And that girls, I mean, women, grown women say that kind of thing all the time. But you were speaking it out loud.
Yeah.
And I think Traven has a clip. Shall we go to the clip?
Oh, great.
Let's take a look at the clip.
Well, Dani, one thing that people certainly can't say about you is that you are not upfront. You are definitely honest to the core, and evident in the show that you let your feelings be known. Right, you put them right out there, don't you?
Yeah, and that's the reason why I gave her the shot of tequila, because I thought it was going to be the opposite. I thought she wasn't going to like the first date, and it was, anyways.
She survived it. Everybody survived it. It was just funny.
Yeah.
But so at this point, Dani, you're still excited to find love?
Definitely.
I hope, well,
say,
your guy is out there. I just hope you
yeah,
find him sooner as opposed to later.
And what I need to do is just I just need to keep going deeper onto the surface. I need to keep going under the surface for who this person is a little bit more.
Are you going to wait till the last, till they film again to date again, or
you know what? It doesn't really matter. I could be able to find a plan with my next date.
Right. So she's
like you said, Dani, you said it. You've got to kiss a lot of frogs to find the prince, right?
Oh, speaking of frogs, she's got a little frog animation that she actually did, but I guess we can't do it. We can't show it. But she was on.
I was at. We have the receipts by Netflix, Tundum.
Yeah, and so they asked her to do a little animation demonstration. So she animated a little herself kissing a frog.
Oh, how cute.
How amazing.
Yeah, but she just did it like a day or two ago, so she didn't send it to you in time. So you could,
show. Next time we'll show it.
Watch this, actually. Enable. Oops.
No, you can't share your screen. So that's okay. Don't worry.
I don't know if Traven can change something on his side, whether you can change. I don't know if he can do that or not on the fly, and we're out of time basically. But Dani, I wanted to take just a second again, because you are somebody who is amazing and a businesswoman and constantly creating films. You've already created in your young life over 11 award-winning films, not just films, award-winning films. So talk a little bit about your business, put it out there about what your business is, because people could be hiring you to animate right now. Yes?
I've got several projects in-house, including one top secret animation project in collaboration with Boots of Bullying. So I will let you do more details when it's announced.
Yeah,
okay.
But that's really just it's Boots of Bullying. So it's an animation short that they're trying to pitch to the networks, and she's got a whole series that she's working on with her students,
with my team of students
and her team and so on. That's the first big one. And the second big one she's working on right now
is the CBS Pipeline Challenge. We are going to pitch a film to one of the 5 to each nonprofit to see which one's the best one.
Yeah, and also with SIGGRAPH.
Okay, and with SIGGRAPH, we're developing the graphics.
So that the SIGGRAPH is a big one because you guys know who SIGGRAPH is.
Yeah.
Crystal's calling me.
No.
Uh-oh, people are calling you. And you're almost done.
We're gonna have to have you back on. We're gonna
Yes.
have to have you back on when you find your true love on the show.
Yes.
Probably with Shannon. It's gonna happen.
Okay.
It will. I also want to say, Sandy, thank you. I also want to say, Sandy, that and I don't know how you felt about it, Nancy, but one of the most amazing things in this season of Love on the Spectrum was watching how everybody interacts with their people, with their team, like how Dani interacts with you and with her uncle, and how some of the other characters interact with their roommates. I just thought it was really interesting because we really got to see how hard you guys work to set them up for success and how hard it is sometimes to let them go and do the thing that you set them up for the success to do. And Dani, I was really seeing not as much on your part, because I think they edited that out, but how frustrated you guys get when we're still in there trying to support you. Is that a fair statement?
When
not as much Dani. Yes, I mean, I saw the young guy at the Ren Fair, and every time his mother would say anything to him at all, and he was like, "Oh," and I feel like that's my house right now. I say, "Oh, are we going to do?" "Oh, Mom."
James.
I felt like, I really had a heart for that, Sandy. We work so hard to support them to be able to do the things that they do. It's very hard to stop it, Dani. When it's time for you to go do your thing, it's very hard for us to not be like, can I come too? Can I watch you at the table have your blind date? which of course, you don't want us to, but we want to.
Yeah, it was really hard for Patrick and I because all the filming that was done, we were not allowed to be there. Not even here at the house when she was with not that we were not allowed. It was just better that because they wanted her to be herself. Yes. They didn't want us around to try to, so she could try and please say what we wanted her to say. They wanted her to say, just be herself. And so they asked us not to be there when she was filming, and we never were, other than the ones that when they actually filmed us together. Yeah. And so, having her leave, having her leave and having her be around, it was just totally her without us. And, she did great.
It's clear, though, how much everybody is cared and looked after and how much you guys, deeply are involved in their lives. But it was also clear that from the adults on the spectrum perspective that they would like to be able to do their own thing now. And speak for themselves. Am I wrong, Dani?
You want to do your own thing?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that.
The reason why I do is because I want it to always be independent and be out there. Always be out there.
Yes.
Well, you are. And
you
Sandy,
are
I know you're very proud of her, and your support for her is so evident.
But I still have to sometimes, even now, I still have to
prompt me. By prompting me, for example, say deeper, which means explain even more.
Because if she has to, she'll get away with just yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
But my prompt is deeper. That means talk deeper about that subject.
That means explain.
Explain.
Well, you're a good team. You're a good team. We thank you so much for being here. We want to remind everybody that we're going to debut that episode of Stories from the Spectrum with your part 2 in the series. That'll be tomorrow that will be on. So tune in to see more about Dani and how she got to be who she is today. And definitely watch Dani and all the other people on Love on the Spectrum US. It's on Netflix now, and my face hurts from smiling so much.
Yes, it's a great show. We encourage everybody to watch it and see how Dani does in the dating world. And we're going to have you back, Dani, when you find your true love. Count on that.
Yeah, I can't wait to tell you when I find the right love. Put me on the show.
No, absolutely. Right. You can bring them with you.
You could still date.
It's a promise.
I could still date.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I want to be a matchmaker. I want to help you find the right guy.
Really? You can?
I'm going to be looking. I'm going to be looking.
Shannon, help us because she doesn't listen to me.
Please do, Shannon. I mean it.
I'm gonna be looking, Dani. All right, you guys
Yeah.
are amazing. Thank you
So
so
great
much for
to
being
see
with
you.
us.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Take care.
Bye
Bye bye.